Hello and welcome to this module on setting yourself apart by advancing your credibility and reputation and safeguarding your electronic and social media communication. This is one of a three-part series. The other two modules include professional email and professional voicemail. Today we're going to look at professional text messages. As well, you have an obligation under the Code of Ethics and Standards of Practice, Article 12, to be honest and truthful in your real estate communications and make sure that it's a true picture. You also, as we see in Part 2, need to ensure and notify your clients and potential clients that these communications are from a real estate professional. So let's think about, ask what method of communication do you prefer? Make sure you ask your client. Some people prefer email, some people prefer voicemail, and some people prefer text. So if you believe the answer is text, let's take a look at that. To text or not to text? There are three perspectives. Of course, have you asked your client and you want to meet your client's choice? According to a new study from Few Internet and American Life, 31% of all Americans do prefer text messages over phone calls. 14 said they prefer based on the situation, and 27% of cell owners do not use texting at all or occasionally. Interestingly enough, that does not necessarily have to be age-based, but you can imagine now with voice texting, the numbers are increasing because older individuals with arthritis or with the smaller keypads who had not begun texting until about a year or 2 years ago, it is increasing because of voice text. The bottom line is, have you asked your client? So let's say your client does say yes. Texting is my preferred avenue. There was a case of an individual who owned a number of restaurants. In this case, the agent did not want to text. They prefer talking on the phone. Yet, the client was point blank bold enough to say, if you don't text me, we'll never communicate. Too busy, too many restaurants, too much movement. So to text or not to text, let's look at the do's and don'ts of texting. We want to make sure in a do category that you use complete sentences and text only during reasonable hours. Because you don't think the phone is ringing, sometimes we've heard agents are communicating outside of reasonable hours, and in fact, people have their phones to beep or vibrate and are interrupted. You want to avoid things like abbreviation and so many emoticons. So we have see you tomorrow at 6 p.m. Okie dokie. That is not the kind of text a professional emulates yet. Look at the number you receive with that. So let's take a look at a few more don'ts. Of course, you don't want to text bad news. It's a flat medium. It can seem insensitive or harsh. A text of, when do you have a moment that we might talk, when's a good time to call, could help you build that relationship. You naturally don't want to text and drive, and although it seems silly we have to say that, look at the number of people sitting next to you at the stop signs that are still texting and driving, and studies show that you can increase a chance of a crash up to 25 times. Don't send without proofing, especially if you're using the verbal text feature. Horror story after horror story about transposed words by voice recognition. So when you think about text, you must still identify yourself as an agent. Please make sure if you don't know how to put your signature in for your particular phone, that you call, for example, one vendor, you just dial 611 and you go right to their tech support. They will walk you through putting your name and your company name in each and every text with a signature line. You do, at least at some point in that chain of texting, need to identify yourself as an agent in the brokerage in which you are associated with. So, questions, ideas, best practices, and concerns? Feel free to connect with me at bethann@tucsonrealtors.org or give me a shout at 520-382-8790. Thank you for taking the time to look at your text messages, how to improve them, make them accurate, clear, and concise, and stellar selling to you.